Better bring myself on stage. What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing today? We got a few people in here. I know this is like midday, so yeah. Um hey, what's going on, Golden Wolf, Automatic Beats, Robert Burton, Steven Cicero, and of course the boss is hanging out. It's early enough for the boss to jump in. All set miner, Automatic Beats. What's going on, everybody? Um So yeah, I haven't been making a whole lot of content lately because I've been like pretty busy with working on the network over at in Florida. How you doing, Mamba Mining? Um been pretty busy doing everything as far as networking goes. So my content creation's been, you know, pretty slow lately. Been really occupied here. So I figured I would just do um a stream and just catch up with you guys, see what's going on. I am I am working on remoting into uh my dad's place right now so I could show you one of my one of my servers here. So just give me one sec here because I don't remember which ports go to which machines, of course. Well, I'm gonna have to keep trying. Network in Florida, jinx sis. I just I just lost my phone for a hot minute. I got you at double speed, so oh, what's going on there, Joker? How you doing, man? How's everybody doing today? So yeah, I just got back from the gym. Um, sold another. I did a an aftermarket upgrade on my Ram on my truck. So I put like an aftermarket grill on there. So I met a guy came over to my house, offer up, gave me $200 for my stock grill. So some more vast funding, incoming. You know what I mean? We love the vast funding. We love vast funding. Nothing like good old vast funding here. No rentals on my vast rig 3070. But I guess the demand for 3070s are low. Yeah, I mean, it kind of depends, like I said, on where you're Vast it's so much different than like mining, right? Where like, okay, if I get this GPU, I can make this much money, right? That's that's uh that's definitely not how Vast AI is. So it's much different. Um trying to get in. There we go. All right. So I'm putting in. I have to I don't remember where all the ports go to which machines. I need to write it down and make a spreadsheet. I just haven't done it yet. Well, late afternoon stream. Yeah, man. I mean, I've been trying to get a hold of my thumbnail guy, so because I'm gonna do some content on an Intel GPU. Um, Joker asks, would one of your pre-built Vast.ai workstations be good for my 4070? Yes, it would. Um, here I'll share my screen here, and we'll let me get my Vast screen here. You guys could see. I think this is it. Yeah, here we go. Okay. So this is the current Mining King Vast farm. Okay. Now, there's been lots of testing going on, lots and lots of testing. So this 4070 right here was rented for the last week. It just dropped off last night. But if you look down here, look, it only has 4 threads. It's a very low end CPU, and I wanted to test to see if people would actually rent a really low end CPU that had a good GPU that has a good amount of RAM. Now, I'm not sure if storage plays into a part of this, right? Because I have a lot of SATA drives, right? This is an NVMe here, SATA, SATA, SATA. These are all SATAs until you get down to this 3090 that I just redeployed this last night because it was on spinning rust. So, if you guys want to know, does spinning rust get picked up like a mechanical hard drive? Answer is going to be slim to none, right? Um, is gonna be the short end of that answer because I had this rig was under a different name, and it didn't have this NVMe. I had just a 2 terabyte, Barracuda mechanical drive, as the drive for Vast, and nobody touched it for, like, a solid week. I put the NVMe in, and I put it at 12 cents last night, and away it went, and instantly got picked up, like, within an hour. So, you can see right here that this particular GPU is getting rented right now. Um, so now it's really interesting to see what is actually getting rented on our things here. Like, so here's another 3090 of mine. This one has 12 threads, 32 gigs of RAM. And you can see I'm using all different CPUs. Like, look, here's 12 threads, 24 threads, 16 threads, a Ryzen, another Ryzen 5800. This is a 5900, an Epic. I'm kinda all over the place as far as I wanted to, like, throw a bunch of different things out there and just see what happens, you know what I mean? Um, oh, sounds good, Joker. Now, Joker, um, so, like, um I did put a, listing in the Terra, marketplace. It's for the workstations machines. Now, that particular machine, you could buy it at that price, or if you want, like, more RAM, or if you do wanna do an NVMe and, just realize you're gonna have to use up some of your PCIe lanes, so if you do an NVMe with a workstation, you're only gonna do 1 GPU, but everything is completely configurable, like, if you want more RAM, or you want a different hard drive, or you want a bigger power supply, it's all 100% configurable, but the prices will change if you want more stuff. So I can build it to whatever you need. Um, question. Vince Gallo has a question here. How much lease time versus downtime is this really worth it given the hardware cost and bandwidth requirements? What gets leased most? Um, okay, so my dual 3080 Epic rig before I I put in a maintenance mode, and this is just I don't know why it broke, but all I did was put it into like an actual case. It was just like laying on a motherboard box and it was working fine. It was rented and it was doing great. I put it into a case and some reason something broke along the way. Don't know what happened. Something happened. And then I had to like screw with it for hours. I don't even know what went wrong with it, but I got it back up. Now, as far as what gets rented the most, I'm gonna say single card rigs that are at least 12 gigs of VRAM or higher, because that's usually what I found with there's all and check this out. There's not just like large language models. There was this one service that was on my GPUs for a while, and it was for something called prime, and then all it does is like these mathematical calculations for prime numbers. And it's a thing too. I can't remember. It's like if you Google, it's like prime something. I don't remember what it was. But there's all kinds of things that people use your machine for. They could use it strictly for the CPU, but let's think about it this way. If they rent the rig for the CPU, they're still renting the GPU. Whether or not they use that GPU or not doesn't matter, right? They get charged for it because they're renting the machine, and that's just what they pay. And then you could charge them for your bandwidth, right? You could charge more, you could charge less. Um, I left most of my machines at default for bandwidth and storage prices, and they seem to do pretty well. But you can lower it down. Like I did lower that last 3090 I put back up. I cut the bandwidth price in half but I made the GPU price 2 more cents an hour than the bandwidth cost. So, I'm just playing around with some of the settings, man. The profitability on this and trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work is like the wild west here, right? I don't have all the answers. I can only tell you what has worked for me and and my success because it really varies day to day. Jacob Burgess asks, on your multi GPU rigs, are you listing them as a minimum of one GPU or two GPUs? So I only have one dual rig, and that's my Epic rig, and I am listing both because check this out. If you only list one, and let's say there is people who mine like Cubic and some of these other weird stuff on there, and I don't know why they're renting their rig to mine. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I guess it depends on where you are in the part of the world because it seems like it would be expensive. But nonetheless, the problem is if you only say a minimum of one, that means they don't have to rent both. And to me, that feels like you're losing out on money, right? Because they're not renting both GPUs, so you're not going to make as much money. I find personally that single card rigs get rented a lot more than the dual or quad or 8 card rigs. Now that's really different when you get to 4090s though, because those things just get rented no matter what. Everybody loves those freaking things, but they're mad expensive. You know what I mean? Um, Mine some 10 says my 4090 was rented for over 20 days straight. Today it has been rented. Yeah. I mean, check this out. My 3060, that 3060 12 gig I started way back before mining disrupt, still rented. Still rented. That thing has never not been rented. I'm waiting for it not to be rented so I can put it in maintenance mode and take it over to my other place so I can get it out of my garage. But it just sits there and has not ever not been rented. If it has not been rented, it's during the time when I'm sleeping, you know what I mean, or something like that. So I haven't noticed a drop of income from that machine yet at all. So um Little Nicky says, "Hey King, just got back from Mainnet conference. Met Jeff Key, Alex, and Dan. Oh man, nice man. They're super good dudes. Also saw WorldCoin. They were paying $50 a scan. You're not scanning my retina, man. I don't care how much money you pay me. How do we do pricing? Now this is something I was going to do a video on, but I don't know how you guys feel about this. I've been doing lots of fast and networking videos, and it's kind of been stepping away from mining. So I've been trying to find content that I want to do around mining. I know that Hive has some stuff now for Intel, so I'm trying to work on that. I just don't want to bombard people with too much vast content. I feel like I don't know. I feel like maybe the viewers wouldn't like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong though. I'm trying not to get too heavy, and push the vast on everybody. So I know some people are still true miners here. I mean, I'm still GPU mining. I still got my 6700 XTs on my own Radiant pool. But that's pretty much all I got going right now. I guess this is like I'm the mining king, but now I'm doing like AI vast content. That's like a mixed in my name is a mixed message, boss. That's I guess that's what I'm trying to get at. Okay, Shavla, Shalva. I'm not gonna try to pronounce your last name, sir. I'm sorry. I'm if I mispronounced it. Shalva. The last port in that port range is the one that's going to be open. So let's just say you do an echo, right? And you do your echo command. And let me just show everybody this too, because I get questions about the ports. Like, how do we do the ports inside Vast? It's in the actual setup guide on the Vast webpage. Let me just share my screen one more time here because I get this question like DM like 5 times a day. And I think I can't give everybody everything, but this is like, look, if you go down here to configure networking, there's this echo command right here, right? This whole thing, this echo and the range, and it goes to this file here, and you can see host port range. Now, in in my video, I do like 100, and I see a lot of people do 100 ports. So that's pretty common. And you can do any ports you want, right? And you just determine it with this number. So instead of doing echo 40,000 to 4019, you could do like echo, you know, 41,100 to 41,200, right? As long as you do this echo command right here and then open the ports up on your router, right? The last number, which is this 9 port here, right? So you would do 41,100 to 41,199. And this port right here, this last guy, when you do a port checker, it's going to be open. That's the port that they use to connect to your system. All those other ports are for port mapping. So in Docker, when you do Docker, you actually do port mapping, and that's those other ports are for the other people to port map SSH or whatever other ports they need for their particular application that they're going to run. The only port that's ever going to be open is going to be this port at the end of the range right here, which would be 19 if you copy this particular instance. Yeah, the yeah, I do have a very refined cheat sheet, and actually, I did get it working with Ubuntu server, so which was really nice. So now I don't have to do the desktop anymore, which is like a huge pain in the butt. So I tested server last night with a couple subtle, changes, and it worked perfectly. So that was really cool. So I really like that. Mining King, Mine Some says, when you add a second rig, you edit those commands for opening the ports, right? Exactly. So you can have multiple rigs off one IP address. So, like, let's say your first port range was Echo 40,000 to 40,099. The next one up is going to be Echo ports 100 to 199, and then you open those ports on your router too, and so on and so forth. And you can have as many rigs as you want. You just have to change the ports, because what an echo does, essentially, what echo means in Linux is listen. That's what it means. It's listening on those ports. Let's see here. Let's see if do a see if anything is running on this machine here. I could show you guys. Okay, this guy's running stable diffusion. Okay, so let's see if I can't share this screen. Share screen. I think this is it. Yeah, there you go. See, boom. Let me open this window up a little bit more here. Put it on my other screen here. Go like that. Okay, so you could see that they're getting a repository from Amazon AWS, and they're using stable diffusion, right? So you could figure out what Docker you're actually running, like the actual Docker instance, by doing a just I'll just press up. You just do sudo docker ps, and then it's going to spit out what Docker instance is actually running on your particular machine, right? And then some really cool other tools is mvtop, which you also, oh, I didn't install it. Sudo apt install mvtop. And mvtop. And now you can see this is going to show you the breakdown of what he's using as far as GPU resources. Now, it does look like that he has stable diffusion running on a Python server. He's using about almost 75% of the memory of the 3090, about 16 and a half gigs. But it looks like whatever he was doing has completed, right? Maybe the guy's sleeping, maybe he's at work, but he still has the resources reserved on the GPU, right? So another good way to look at things is also you could do HTOP. I don't have that installed either. Boy, I didn't install any of the good programs here. All right. So you can use HTOP and now you can see everything that's running on here as well as you can see all the cores and threads. This one right here is not as pretty, right? So this can give you a general idea of what he's running and what's being used right now um, for his setup. But a much cleaner example is BPY Top, and that was from Second TL Mining. He knows quite a bit about Linux himself, so this is another program you can run. And of course, I don't have that. You can do an install a sudo pip install BPY Top, and it'll install it, and then you would just do BPY Top. This one's much more cleaner, and you could see much more of the resources. So you could see the total amount of memory, how much memory he's using. He's only using about 5 gigs. You could see on the Docker actual instance of how much space I gave Vast. You can see he's used 163 gigs, and there's only 767 available. You can also see how much bandwidth this guy's transmitted since it's been up. Wow, this guy has been I've been downloading a crap ton. 522 gigabytes. That's almost like half of a terabyte of bandwidth up and, I've downloaded already. Now, I've only uploaded 39 gigabytes of information, right? So, the download look, even though symmetrical is great because symmetrical helps pass information to and from your server, I would say download is probably the more important one. I do say that download does occur more often than uploading. You could also see your cores and threads and see your temperatures, and this also shows you the working instances right now on what's running right now as far as processes goes. Yeah, Max. Look, I set up tmux, but I don't remember the commands to split the window. I'm new to tmux. So tmux is a way to where pretty much you can split screens, um, which is pretty cool. Let me go back to some questions. Oh, hey, Trail Roamer. What's going on, Mom? And then Mind Some 10 says, do you prefer to set up VLANs for each rig or just throw them all on one VLAN? Okay. So this is not at my house. So everything is not on a VLAN. I have them they're just on a subnet, and there's nothing attached to that network other than mining rigs uh and these AI rigs. So I don't care really for it. So it doesn't matter. If you were gonna do this at home and have it on your own network, then I would recommend setting up VLANs and firewall rules to protect yourself against them trying to ping or get into your particular home network. So far though, I mean, I don't know the security of Vast, so I don't know how much access they can actually get. So that's a whole nother topic. That's something else for another day. And then look at Scott Hoffner says setting up a 3080 rig. Wow, listen. All right, man, cool. Oh well, here's veteran miner. He's freaking texting me. Hear this ping, ping. Uh, this guy. I gotta mute my phone now. Um, Any way to power limit the GPUs to make sure that they do not kill your GPUs. So this is going to be the problem that I see with that. Um, here's the issue, though. This is going to be your issue, Mind Some 10 and Vincent Gallo. Is let's say I power limit. This is a 3090, right? And let's say I power limit this guy. Well, when I power limit him, what's going to happen to the compute power? Okay, it's not going to. He's not going to get as much compute power, right? It's going to be a reduced amount of compute power. Now, this is what's going to happen. So I was looking into what is there is people who have been de-verified, right? They were verified, now they're not verified anymore. So what that means is anytime that somebody gets like let's say I rented this system right here that I'm looking at right now. If for any reason this system does not behave to the specs of what I am listing, right? If I'm saying it's a 3090 and it needs to have the full compute of the 3090, but let's say I power limit the shit out of it, you're going to get de-verified or not even verified. So you need to really pay attention to that. When you list your system, the specs must be true. So ways that people have been de-verified is like let's say I had dual 3090s, right? And then let's say I took one away, right? So I went from two 3090s to one 3090, but for some reason on Vast, the the back end didn't update and it's still listing it as dual 3090s. And let's just say I didn't pay any attention to it. Let's say I was like, it'll change. Well, if you keep it listed, somebody rents it and pays the price of dual 3090s, but only one 3090 comes up, you will get de-verified and you will be punished. So be very careful about there's no need to limit your stuff. They're not going to kill your GPU. You realize that when things are at like 80C or whatever, 78C or whatever it is, okay, your graphics cards are designed, that's what they game at. That's what 3090 is game at. You know what I mean? I've seen the fan curves from EVGA and MSI and all these other places. Your GPUs will get up that hot by stock defaults if you do not adjust and manually set your fan curve. Now, I manually set my fan curve, but that's also part of my cheat sheet because it's very hard to manually set your fan curve inside of Linux. What's going on, veteran miner? And here, you know what, man? If anybody wants to call in and hang out, man, uh, here I'll pin this. You know, if anybody wants to hang out, well, these little emojis in the bottom right hand corner, it won't let me pin it if I'm like the last comment there. Did you share Vast tools? No, Max. That's part of the Mining King cheat sheet solution. Okay, you have to buy into that. Okay, all right, Max. Max, you better quit giving away all my secrets. Hey, appreciate it. Thanks, Overboard. Um, Veteran Miner, it's here. Overboard Tech says if you power limit it before you register the rig, it should deliver the rated teraflop, so you should be okay as long as you are consistent. Yeah, that would really heavily depend on the teraflops and what it's being advertised as, because if it gets picked up as stock teraflops, and when they try to run the 3090 at stock and you have it power limited and then it crashes, it's gonna hurt your reliability. They're gonna put a ticket in and say, "Hey, this guy, his 3090 is fucking doo doo. It's not working right. It just keeps crashing." And they're gonna go into your they'll realize why it's crashing because you're throttling the card, you're power limiting it. There's really no point to power limit the cards, guys. If just realize that you're gonna have to do maintenance on your cards. All right. If you get let's say you rent your card out for 5 months and on that 5th month, let's say instead of being at 80C, the card starts being at like 86 or 85C. Okay, no problem. All you gotta do is put it in for a maintenance mode, put it in maintenance mode, take the card out, repaste it, shove it back in. That's all you gotta do. It's not that hard. So you can schedule maintenance windows for your rig. Now, you can't you can't take away cards. Like you can't go from 2 to 1. You can go from 1 to 2, but you can't go less, but you can go more. You can't change your RAM, you can't change the hard drive, you can't change the CPU. If you do any of those things, you will have to do a fresh fast install. Ugh, I forgot how to set up Tmux, okay? Look, I know how to install it, but I don't remember like what's the command to split the screen. I think Max is trying to call in too, but Max, your screen is all white. I can't see you, sir. Something's not working right, Max. Uh, Sir, if Second TL's watching this, here, Second TL, hold on. Does this one have Tmux on it? No. Sudo app install Tmux. Tmux. And then it said he said Control B, then 50. Do I have to hold Control B? Did that 50%? I'm not doing it right, Second TL. Yeah, I'm not doing it right. Yeah, but when I do Control B, nothing comes up. It won't let me do anything. It just keeps the green line. Like Control B. Then 50%. He's gonna have to send it to me. Oh, Max is driving. Hey, what's up, Max?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes the car phone doesn't like to pick up stuff, so that's why I was curious. So Shift B, then Control B, then Shift %, and then there's another one to do the other orientation. Don't take my idea for a video. I'm going to do a video on Tmux.
Control B and then Shift %. You said?
Yeah.
There you go. Okay. Then you
can use arrows to go back and forth.
Right. You do Control B, and then you can do the arrows. Yeah. So then you could do like NV top here, then Control B back, and then do BPY top over here, and then you could have them both going.
So what I've done with mine, I've got 4 rigs. I could fit 4 rigs, but with the other one, I can't remember the other orientation. To put them like one on top of the other, and I could fit all 4 rigs on a 1440p screen. So nice. I've got like when I go home, I like look and it's up, and I've got all 4 rigs still sitting there, making sure they're all running.
Right.
And then on my left-hand screen, I've got Vast.ai on it. So, hey, quick question: is your 4070 rig rented?
No, it dropped off. I think yesterday.
Yeah, so did mine.
Maybe that was that Swamp 7 guy. I don't know.
No, I don't think so. I don't think it was.
No.
But yeah, mine dropped off too. They were all rented. Like all the 4070s were rented for quite a while, and now there's 3 of us available. I think there's 5 total now, but 2 are rented and 3 are available.
Okay, yeah. No, I have a couple rigs. I think I have the 4070s are no longer. Oh, they just got picked up again now. They're back to being
nice.
on. My Epic rig is not picked up, which I'm not sure why that's not picked up. My dual 3080s, but it's probably because I'm forcing them to rent both GPUs, right? So that's probably what it is. And then I have one more 3080 rig that's not picked up. I have 3 out of 10. I'm at 70% online and rented. That's usually about what it is every day. Is about 7 out of 10 is being rented right now for me.
Yes, I had all 4 of mine rented like since I got the other one up and running, like on Saturday. So
Okay.
yeah, when I woke up this morning, having 2 out of my 4 not rented was disappointing.
Yeah, it hurts a little bit. I mean, but it's not guaranteed, but it's still more profitable than mining. I mean, I hate to
Oh
say
heck
that,
yeah,
but it's I'm sorry. It's you get paid for your bandwidth, you get paid for your storage, you get paid for the graphics card. I mean, unless you're like your electricity is just out of this world. It's if you're at a decent, I would say 15-20 cent range, maybe even a quarter, you still might make money depending upon what you price it at.
yeah. I was looking at where I had my 3090s priced, and I was like, ugh, that probably need to up that considering the amount of power that is used on those. You know, those are generally full bore, 350 to 375 watts.
Yeah, but they don't they're I noticed that not everybody, it just, like, really depends, right? Like, so this guy here, which one is this one? King 1. I need to take a picture of what ports go to what machines because I type the ports in, and then I have to keep redoing my putty session because I have to put in the name for it, and I just keep forgetting what it is. King 1 has, a 3090 in it. But it's stable diffusion, but I'm assuming the guy's at work or maybe asleep or whatever because he's not using the GPU or the CPU right now. But the stable diffusion is using 16 and a half gigs of the VRAM of the 3090. So I mean, I could here,
Yeah,
let me check the 4070 because he just got rented again. Um,
yeah. The projects I had on the 3090 that aren't getting used, the projects I had on it last night were running it absolutely full bore. It was basically stuff related to Einstein at home. You guys can all look it up. It's related to physics and pulsars and doing some research that way. It was pretty cool. It was a group out of University of Wisconsin Milwaukee, their physics department. Somebody in their physics department was running it, so that was pretty cool.
okay, so this guy here, I don't know how to. Hold on, let me see if I could switch this over to. I'm gonna close this putty session out, and that way I could share just the other one. This is the my 4070 just got picked up again as we're streaming. So this is this one right here. Oh, it actually moves the it's moving the window as I'm moving it around my screen. So you can see here he's running RunPod. He's running an instance from RunPod, which is another hosting platform, right? But he's using
Yep.
Stable Diffusion Jupyter. And then so we do I don't know if I have TMux on this one. I don't have TMux on a lot of mine. I just started kind of doing that one. And then TMux, Control B, and then Shift Percentage, and then we'll do BPY top. Oh, I don't have that either on here. Okay. Sudo pip install BPY top. What must maybe I didn't type it in right? I can't see what's going on here. Okay, something happened here. What if I do sudo su BPY top error log information sudo sudo pip install BPY top? Do I not have pip on here? Sudo apt install pip. Oh, pip's on there, huh? I don't know why BPY top's not working on this one. What about H top?
Yeah, as you're doing that, I've been thinking about something.
Oh
So
yeah.
if you go on Einstein at Home and look to see um, who is actually using that platform to help society, basically. I think number 5 on that list is a cryptocurrency that,
Really?
yeah, where you can supply your um, your processing power and get paid out in that crypto. But here's what I'm wondering. Yeah, they're on Einstein at Home, but what's to say that they're not taking your rigs and somehow working the system and actually putting them on Vast.ai or some other platform, and they're getting paid in dollars while you're getting paid in crypto? Just sorry,
Huh.
like I said, just a brainstorm. Like, would that even be possible?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just sitting there thinking, like, yeah, because they're getting, I was thinking about it like last night when I saw this. I'm like, oh, let me check out the coin, and I'm like, well, the coin's not really listed anywhere, so you really can't cash out easily. It's worth very little. I don't know how much you'd even get paid out in that coin. So I kind of just put it to the side. But then as I was sitting here thinking about it, I was like, huh. I wonder, hey, that's what we should do. We should create a cryptocurrency where we pay people out in it, but we get paid out in dollars.
uh, Here, answer some
Anyway,
questions here. Vince Gallo asks, Mining King, Vast AI versus RunPod payout and hardware requirements. So RunPod is a closed platform. You actually have to get approval, and you have to provide X amount of like machines. You know what I mean? Like compute power before they'll accept you. There's like minimum requirements to get in the door. But I mean, I do have enough to get in the door with all my 3090s and 3080s and stuff like that. Um, the payout is more on RunPod, like they do charge more, but do do people get rented more? Because you don't see them, you don't see who's rented and not rented. They just list pricing. So you have no idea, let's say that if they have 10,000 servers, but only 2,000 servers are being rented right now, right? You don't know that information. That information isn't public. So it's a controlled environment. So I would I filled out the I didn't fill out the application. I looked into it. So I think you know, maybe Tara might be trying to work out some kind of deal with RunPod, something maybe in the future, but don't know at this time. And then is Max 24-hour stream this Sunday? Yes, Mining King.
it's not going to be 24 hours. It'll probably be 12 hours. But yes, it is this Sunday.
He says 48 hours. uh, oh man.
It'll be as long as
DC,
it needs to be. My fundraising goal is 10,000.
okay, DC3. He keep asking a lot of questions. DC3, he asked a question earlier. He said about uh where is it? About pricing. How do you do pricing? Okay. Here's another little, I guess like we could I guess we could show them this. This is another useful tool that some of us vast AI people have, that we've been kind of using lately. Um, and this will help. You can set your price to whatever you want, right? I don't know if it'll be rented. I don't even know if it'd be rented if I set it at my price. But this will give you a good uh I I guess this is something this is
Am I the only one here?
Oh, there you go. You're back. No, yeah. No, it was me. I meant to
Okay.
open the window and it made me leave the page.
Okay.
All right. So that's why you have to go here and then over here. Okay. pulled a rookie mistake there. All right. This page here are some analytics on how to scene, right? So we can go to 3090s. And then let's go to unverified machines, and we want to do 1 GPU. Okay, so these are the vacant machines, which means that these are machines that this is the prices that people are asking for. And then this are the machines that are actually being picked up. And the median's obviously like the average, and you can see on the high end is about 20 cents for these are unverified machines, right? And then you can see the interruptible instances if you're being rented as an interruptible service, what the vacant prices is for interruptible services. Um, and then you could see all of these different offering charts here. There's lots of charts. This guy does a really good job. He even shows you where in the world all the offers are for 3090s, whether they're being picked up or not. So that's really cool. So you can see a lot here in the US. There is some over in Europe, a couple over here. So really cool to see. You get to see the world spread. Look, there's even one 3090 in South Africa right now. One lone guy by himself. So kind of cool to see that. There was also I'm trying to think. I thought there was another section. Yeah, it goes down further. So it has graphs of the on-demand utilization, rented prices, and then you can see here for verification periods, like how long is the average time to go from unverified to verified? And I'm going to say that this is a bunch of crap because most of mine are past this timeline here. It says max 15 days. It says average is 2 days. Uh, I would say that's probably incorrect. Um, so that's just me though. So really cool site. Uh, Second TL is the one who turned me on to this one. He's like the guy who's great at gathering information. I linked it in the chat if you guys want to check that website out to check out your offers. Oh, is that the Bentley Max? Is that where you're getting out of there? The CEO of Bentley? You're not supposed to be opening your own door when you're a CEO, Max, all right? Yes.
You're fun.
And we got to enjoy Max's car ride home from work. All right. Let's see. Your second TL says to check this one out. Is this another sheet here? Dashboards. Here. Compare GPUs offered on Vast by the performance numbers. Okay. All right. Let's go check this guy's stuff out. Oh, actually, I mean, I kind of like that one. That one's kind of easy to read. Your 3090. Two unverified GPUs. Huh. That's pretty cool.
Okay.
Here, see if that one will show up here on my window here. I'm sharing.
Oh,
I don't know how much of a delay there is right now on the stream. Oh, there you guys can see it.
okay, great.
That one's kind of cool. This is another dash. So you just click on dashboards here. Hold on. Go back one more. And then you can go to GPU stats. Another good one. So Vince Gallo says, trying to wrap my head around this. He has a 3900X with a 3090. Oh, he says he retracted his statement. Okay, no problem, Mr. Vince Gallo. Oh, you let me know when if you're coming back, Max. You let me know. Second tail mining, thank you for the help. Unfortunately, I don't have a motherboard laying around. So probably will get a Dell workstation from King. Oh, nice. Yeah, man. Second tail, he's always good at helping people out. Oh, you're good, Max? Oh man. Oh, all right. It's General. He's he's he went from CEO voltage to general voltage. I think you might be muted, Max. I can't hear you.
Sorry, yeah, I muted it because I wasn't sure if you were going to pop me in, so I was talking to my daughter.
Yeah.
She ate all the food I wanted to eat. That's all right. I forgive her.
So Vince Gallo says he's trying to build a system 3900X with a 3090 with a 4 terabyte NVMe. It's a Gen 3 slot, 1 gig of bandwidth, 64 gigs of RAM.
That'll definitely do the trick.
I mean, 4 terabyte NVMe, and I
It's
feel like
overkill.
that's just overkill.
Yeah.
I would just do a 1 terabyte, man. You can get those things for like, and if it's a Gen 3, get those things like a 1 terabyte for like $35.
Yeah.
A 4 terabyte, I think that's just it's going to get really pricey when it comes to the storage, and I don't think you
The
need
only
that much.
thing I would caution people on, if you're using this for Vast, you got to make sure you get a drive. My vote would be to get a drive that has a good amount of endurance to it. So check to see what its mean time between failure is rated at.
Yeah, the TBW of the drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be another good suggestion too. Let's see if we scroll up, see if I missed anything.
The other thing I was going to say is I recently got 2 Gen 4 drives, one 500 because I didn't need a terabit for the main drive, and I got a terabit for the secondary drive. They were both Gen 4, even though the secondary was only going to be Gen 3. The Gen 4 was only a few bucks more, so I thought for reuse and that type of thing, I thought might as well just get the Gen 4.
Now, my motherboard last night, I went from that spinning Rust to an NVMe, right? But I bought a Gen 4 980 Samsung, right? And for some reason, because that board only does Gen 3 NVMe and I had a Gen 4 drive in it, the GPU wanted to be at Gen 4. The NVMe wanted Gen 3, so there was a huge PCIe conflict. I could not get Ubuntu installed whatsoever.
Well, okay, so that could possibly be on my particular system. Remember, the first slot and the first NVMe slot are both going direct to the CPU. The one I have going that's Gen 3 slot, but with a Gen 4, that's going through the chipset. So it's taking 2 different paths.
Oh, we'll see. My board only has 1 slot for an NVMe.
Oh, okay.
It only has 1. It doesn't have any other ones. So
Got it.
I had to actually lower the system overall to Gen 3 PCIe to get everything to work. Because if I put it to auto or Gen 4 or anything like that, it wasn't happy on auto either. So it had to be Gen 3 or it's not posted. I don't know why that is, but I learned my lesson. Next time I'll just buy a Gen 3 drive if it's a Gen 3 slot.
Yeah, that's a good point. What
to
was
avoid
this
the
one of
hassle.
the old workstations that this was happening on?
No, it was a B450 gigabyte ORSM.
Okay.
So it's a B450, not a 550. So it can't.
Right.
I went on the website. It says it does Gen 3 NVMe, and I'm like, okay. Like I got a Gen 4. I'm like,
yeah, board B450. No, I guess B450 can do Gen 4 if it's a Gen 4 capable CPU. So, but that motherboard wouldn't do Gen 4. Yeah, I guess it wouldn't. Interesting conundrum.
yeah, it's all good though, man. I got it to work, so it's fine. It's being rented right now, so they're hammering it. So,
and all mine are rented now again. Sweet.
So we got a question from
no, they're not.
Gary Stuve. I don't know if I pronounced that right. I'm bad with names. Max is good with names. Can you undervolt the GPU to prevent folks from mining? So once again, if you undervolt and that causes the rig to crash a lot, you could get de-verified or hurt your reliability rating, right? With every reboot. So to avoid people mining, I would just like look, if you see a lot of people getting rented at like 8 cents, like really low prices, right? On 3090s, that's probably they're mining on that, right? To counteract people from mining, set it at 10 or 12 cents, right? And that way you won't, yeah, you're not going to get rented like immediately, but you're going to weed out. So I set my 3090 now, that new one I just did last night, to 12 cents an hour on the 3090. But instead of like $3.20 on the price for the internet, I cut all the internet pricing in half to right to see if that would make people come on, right? Like if I make the GPU a couple cents more, but I lower the internet pricing, right? Does that make a difference? Like
Hmm.
I'm testing all kinds of things here, right? I'm just like me or Max don't have all the right answers here. We're not experts in this. We're all learning. It's yeah, the best way to de-incentivize mining is to make the rate of your rig comparable to other rigs that are like yours, right? So if if you have a low end motherboard and you have like mining stuff, yeah, you're gonna look like a mining rig. But if you have like good quality hardware, like an NVMe, you got 64 gigs of RAM, I would price it accordingly to things that are in the similar ballpark. If you keep lowering your price because you want to be rented, you're gonna get that threshold where you go down like 2 cents, and then you're just gonna get people who just mine on your stuff. But I mean, whether they're mining or not, you're still making more money. Even if they're mining on your stuff, you're still making more money than if you were mining. That's what I don't understand. Here, what is minimum RAM and minimum bandwidth requirements to make sure you're leased? So once again, there is no like I can't say like, hey, if you have like a gig up and down, you're gonna get rented. I mean, Max doesn't have symmetrical fiber at his house and he's rented. He's on DOCSIS, which is if you don't know what DOCSIS is, that's like cable, right? Where he has I think it's like 1.2 gig down and like 40 up or something like that.
Yeah, in reality, that's what it is. It's 1.2 gig down and 35 up is what the spec is. What I typically get is about 42 up and about 1.4 down.
Right. And I think Hawk's the same right now until he gets fiber at his place. So
Yeah.
people who don't have symmetrical are still being rented. I would say minimum RAM requirements, I would say is at least 32 if you're doing a single card rig, right? I would say that's minimum, and that's what most of mine are. I have a couple 64 gigs. I think I have like 3 of my 10, maybe 4 out of the 10 that are 64. The rest are all 32, and they've all been rented. Um, I would say a minimum of 32 gigs. You want the system to be somewhat decent, you know what I mean? Like, but as you see with my 4070, it only has a 4-core, 4-thread cheap little Xeon in there, and it's getting picked up, but it has 32 gigs of RAM, right? So it has like triple what the GPU has. So it's um oh man, what's going on, Joker? Answer his question. Uh how many PC you recommend 1 gigabyte bandwidth? Says Jasantos. Um Joker, message me, DM me. This is only because it's only for you. All right. This is only for Joker. If you buy one of my workstations, Joker, I'll host it at my other location for you. Okay, just for you. All right. We'll arrange something. All right. Um, will Florida host this? We are still in talks of that. The problem with Florida is though is our fiber is dedicated, right? Which is very expensive. It's thousands of dollars, right? So, and we only have so much power. I don't know if we're gonna take in smaller clients like my little workstations and everybody's little computers, you know what I mean? Now, I did message the guys today because I do have an idea of maybe something in the future, not right now, of a smaller location that would accept these smaller rigs, right? That would be more designed for that. But that's not even in stone yet. Some maybe in the future. Um, and then Second TL says, Max, can I still join your Sunday stream at some point? Man, why isn't Second TL? Why don't you join my stream right now? Unless it's too late for him. I don't know what time it is. He's like,
But yes,
he's
yes, you can. It's highly encouraged. Just tell me when. Shoot me a DM with what time.
let's see here. Jerry says, thanks for the information. And my name is pronounced Jerry Stevie. Okay. Don't worry about starting name because hey, when I tell them my name, when I tell people my real name, they still call me. I mean, I'm on Terra's website. My real name's Jared, right? With 2 T's and 2 R's. Everybody calls me Jared. If I had $1 for every so many times somebody called me Jared, and I don't even care anymore, right? Because I just let it go because I know what they're trying to say, right? Like they're like, "Hey, yeah, we're going over to Jared's house." I'm like, "Okay, who's Jared?" I'm like, I don't know that guy. But if I had $1, I would be like the richest guy on the planet right now. Yeah, yeah,
I
exactly.
just think it's
Joker
funny
Miner.
because whenever you think of Jared, you think of that guy.
Yeah, but hey, before he got in trouble for that, I was like, give me free subs, right?
Right.
And then Scott Hoffner said, rig done and listed super easy using a modified version of your cheat sheet. Oh man, who's passing out my cheat sheet now? I'm gonna start charging all my people now.
I did not. I have not given it to anybody. There was a particular person that is in our chat that was basically like, "Can I have it?" I'm like, "No. That is if you want it, ask King." Just saying. Was not giving it out.
Oh man. So, but yeah, I mean, other than that, man, the Vast stuff, it's been going pretty solid. I think I'm almost if I get everything rented, which I'm not there yet. Maybe I need to adjust my pricing a little bit. I'm thinking about putting an NVMe in the Epic because it just has SATA right now. Um, I did find a fix for the single drive to not do loopback, so that was really cool. I found that, as well as I did get a Ubuntu server to work.
I
So
heard that. I did hear
so
you
now
say
we
that
don't have to
earlier.
go through the whole like going from like the desktop back to like to server and stuff. Like it's much faster and it's less hard drive space you have to give because desktop
Oh.
takes more space.
Interesting.
So another good thing there. But that's only for my I'm gonna revise my cheat sheet again to even more further revision. And now I'm gonna have to like I'm gonna just have a paid link. Every time you click on it, you have to pay. Oh man. Um, but what about you? Are you gonna build any more Vast rigs, Max, or no? Are you done? Or
Well, it's funny. I actually
he's holding another 3090 right now.
no, better than that.
40.
I'm
Oh, you
not
got a
holding
4090?
and I'm not holding it, but I
Oh,
saw a 4090 on offer up for
uh-oh.
1200.
Whoa.
That's
Okay, well,
and
what?
it was an Asus Strix for 1200.
Okay. All right, Asus Strix. See, I would question that because the Strix is like $2,000. You know what I
I
mean?
know. I believe me, I am. And so I haven't like literally it's just been in initial talks. I said, is it still available? It was only listed 2 days ago. And he says, yeah. He's like, where are you located? And I told him where I work and that I work further west. He's actually in the city. So and that was the last conversation. So we'll see. But the fact that he's asking where am I? Because I told him I said that I wanted to do cash deal, at least was somewhat encouraging to me that he wasn't trying to get my phone number and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah,
we'll
I
see.
got scam. Well, I had a scammer attempt to get me because I've been selling a lot of this. Like DJ's been selling stuff on OfferUp. I've been selling stuff on OfferUp too. Like I'm selling like my cordless 40-volt, lawnmower. I'm like selling like all this stuff out of my garage, dude. It's so amazing. I have so much room in my garage now. But it's just like I'm selling tons of stuff, like stuff that just sits there, and I'm just like
Right.
just getting rid of it. So there's this guy. I'm selling my original Nintendo. I have a original Nintendo with like 15 games, and this guy he messages me, and he was like, "Hey, can I Venmo you the money and have my son pick it up?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "No." He's like, "Well, could I Zelle you the money?" I was like, "How about you Zelle your son the money and have him pull the money out and then give me the money, and then we'll be good." And he's just like,
Exactly.
"Oh," and then he says he got no bank, and I was like, "It was a nice pleasure doing business with you, scammer." Like,
Okay. I am
are
a
you an
little
owner of a
questioning.
4090 now?
Well, I'm questioning now because he said, "How far are you from downtown Illinois?" There is no downtown Illinois. There's downtown Chicago.
Yeah, scammer, delete, not message
Yeah.
anymore.
And the
Ugh.
fact that I told him what town I worked in, and he's asking, "How far are you from downtown Illinois?" Wow.
Oh, Scott Hoffner, that link in my video for the setup stuff, that was a very old version. Now there is a much more refined cheat sheet, and it's gonna have a couple more revisions to it shortly. You can get a Vast rig if you have your BIOS and everything set up correctly. Like you have all your everything's ready to go and you just need to do an install. You can get it done in about 15 minutes or less. Yeah, exactly. Gordon Murray blocked. That's exactly right. That's what I would do. Blocked.
Oh, I'll play around with him for a little bit. I basically said downtown Illinois question mark. You can look
Oh,
that up with
say
Google
hey,
Maps.
no, I'm in New York City.
No, I already told him where I was, like where I work. I don't mind telling people where I
Just
work.
say I'm gonna be out of
A
town.
big
Can we
town.
meet in New York City? uh Now everybody's going to Cypherpunk. I haven't made up my mind still if I'm gonna go or not.
Yeah, I'm very thankful that my flight is like pretty damn cheap, and it was. I could have gotten it for under $100, but I'm 6'3", and to fit in a Spirit seat would be it's extremely challenging. Let's just put it that
You,
way.
you know what you should do? I'm just gonna say it's like piece of advice because I've been flying a lot. Is number one, I always buy one ways because they're cheaper, and then two is the day of, like if you download the Spirit app and
Hmm.
an hour, I think it has to be more than an hour before the boarding time. Before that, if you go on their app and you check, like, where you can like change your seats on the app and stuff like that, go see. They don't have first class on Spirit, right? They have like
Right,
the bigger chairs.
right.
Usually, if there's open seats, like an hour before, they're like cheap. Like you pay like just like an extra $40 and you can have the big seat. So I'll
Oh,
do that all the time.
see, I did exit row. I paid for because they have like certain packages like on the Spirit website, but on Priceline they had different packages. They had one where you can check a bag, which I really don't need to check a bag, but they actually charge less to check a bag than to actually carry a bag on. I know you get your personal item too, but anyway, so I did a checked bag and a seat. I forget how much extra it was, like $100 extra for both, $50 each way. So it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, see these cheap airlines, that's where they get you. Like
I know.
they're like, yeah, hey, the ticket is only $97, and then it's another $30 for the seat, and then it's like another $35 if you want to bring a bag bigger than a laptop bag. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just there's all these little charges they hit you with, and it's like, cool, yeah. the plane itself is $97, and then you have to pay all these other fees, and then it ends up being like, to me, sometimes for me to go out to Florida, it's like 200 something dollars each way, 300. So it's
Mhm.
almost better for me just to get like a name brand airline, you know what I mean? Like United or something like that.
Yeah, see, I checked that, and United it definitely has their hub here. Like, I mean, it's like their headquarters is here. So you have United, and then American has a major hub in Chicago as well. So you check both of those, figuring that they're going to have the most flights, but neither one of them was anywhere near the price of Spirit. So yeah, and Spirit has the good thing is Spirit from Chicago to Fort Lauderdale has multiple flights a day. So it's not like one of those where yeah, if the flight doesn't work out, yeah, too bad. So sad. You're going a different day. It's not like that. So at least I have that going for me. But Spirit, if one of their flights isn't very booked, which our flight didn't look very booked, um, there's always the chance that either somebody else is going to be canceled onto your flight, or your flight might be canceled and you go on the next flight.
Yeah, unfortunately, most of the nonstops for me are from Frontier, which if nobody knows Frontier, it's like, it's like so cheap, it's almost like you're like rolling dice on death.
Let's put it this way: I
Um,
think Frontier is worse than Spirit. That's how
oh, it
bad
is. Every
Frontier is.
time I've ever flown them to Florida, to anywhere that we go, like Kansas or any of that crap, number one, it's always late. Either like leaving or coming in, it's late, right? We'll get on the plane on time and everything, and they're like, "Okay, yeah, folks, sorry, we're gonna have to sit on the runway for like another 45 minutes." I'm like, "How does this happen every time I'm on your freaking plane to all these different locations? It makes no s We're always like," and then we'll get or it was like, we'll land and like, "Yeah, sorry, folks, we gotta sit on the runway for like about another hour." I'm like, "Just let me off here. I'll go walk all the way over there. I don't give a crap." Like, dude, let me off this. I get claustrophobic. I don't like being on the plane any longer than I have to. I need to get out. Um, yeah, they're awful. The last time during the time when there was the hurricane that came into Florida and I was leaving to go home, the flight was actually it could have been on time if the pilot who landed the plane coming into Orlando parked it at the right terminal. It took them 3 hours to get traffic control to let them move the plane from the other side of the airport to come to the right gate to where he was supposed to be.
Yeah, that's funny.
I
You told
I
me that
hate
story.
Frontier.
I still think that story's the funniest. Just like
Uh,
seriously, you can't follow directions. You had one job, fly the plane and get it to its destination, which is the correct gate.
uh,
That's like driving 500 miles and parking down the street 10 houses away. Doesn't mean no good. Well, at least if you're in a car, you can walk those 10 houses, but still.
right, right. And I was just like, and it was a big deal. Like, oh, he parked at the wrong gate. I'm like, okay, how about we just? This is just like an idea here, people. Just tell everybody to go from here to the other fucking gate. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'll walk there. I'll do it. Like, let's
I'll
just
push people in
let's just
wheelchairs
fix
if I
this
need
right now.
to.
We could all leave right now. No, no, no. That's like a different airline's gate. I'm like, who the f cares? The plane is there. There's nobody even standing at that gate. They're not even there right now.
You've already had to rent it from the other airline because you probably let people off at the other gate, right?
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've already been subject to the fee. So just freaking get people on the other plane at the other gate anyway. I know too much logic.
Uh, yeah. I don't like flying. It's a 5 hour. It's about a 5 hour flight for me to get out to Fort Lauderdale. If I do go, I might go like early this weekend and go out to Melbourne and do some more server networking stuff I need to do. So I haven't made up my mind yet. Just so much money for flight, hotel, food, all that stuff. I just you know
I figure food
not
probably won't
not
be too bad because A will be at the event, which I think they're supposed to be serving us food when we're there. Maybe not. I could be completely off on that, but that was my understanding.
Based insights. I'm in Misfit Mining. Where's the link to Terra? I don't know if are you asking for a link to the Terra Discord? Not sure what you're asking for. Based insights. Um, you can always go to our webpage, which is terrahosting.io. And then Scott Harper says, I'll send my updated version of the old sheet. It doesn't have every keystroke, but even an idiot like me can follow it. Plus, I added in some extra stuff for analytics. Oh, to the workstation sale. Oh, okay. It's in the marketplace section of the Terra Hosting Discord. I guess I'll make an invite link. For the Terra Discord here. It'll be in my section of the Discord, my regular Mining King section. There will be a link you guys can click on if you guys want to go over there. If you go there and then you go to the marketplace, you can see the listing. Now, like I was saying before, the workstation can be completely configured to whatever you guys want. If you guys want more RAM, that's cool. I'll build the system to the spec. I will do all of the work of building like all the commands and everything like that. And I'll even throw in the if you want, I could throw in the Echo port range as well. You would just have to open the ports, when it got to your home, you'd have to like open the ports on your router. And then you have to do the final last command for Vast, which is on the setup sheet or the setup on Vast's actual web page here, right? Which would be once you make your account, you go over here to setup, and then down here, there's a super long line right here, right? Everybody's after the Python install, there's a hash, and that hash ties to your account, so that way you can be paid and stuff like that. Greenhorn asks, Money, what do you think about the Flux Octominer rig for AI? Hasn't shipped yet. I bought one. They've delayed shipping twice on it now. I have no idea. I still have to mess with that prototype. I haven't even got that thing to even work yet. So, I have to fiddle around with that thing. I haven't had time to dig into that prototype more. I know at least for an NVMe purposes, it doesn't have firmware to support the NVMe slots on it on the prototype. So I have to use the SATA SSD gauges, which I need. I need a cable made, which I might hit up the veteran miner and have him make me a cable. So if you ever need custom cabling of any kind, I highly recommend going to Veteran Miner. He's made me lots of custom cables, especially specialty cables that you just can't buy anywhere. And then nice. Second TL, you sent me that DM for no more loop back. Did you use my little the trick, huh? The trick for getting no more loop back. I don't want to give away too many secrets. I gotta get
Can't make it too easy, right?
I gotta get people to buy my training guide, right? Been going for about an hour and 24 minutes here. We'll hang around for 5 or 10 more minutes. Figure I'd just get on, talk with everybody. I haven't been making a lot of content lately because I've been, like I said, busy with networking and stuff. That night I felt like I was like overwhelmingly just making lots of vast content. I don't want to like put it in people's faces too much, I guess.
Hit people over the head with it. Vast AI, Vast AI, Vast AI.
No, I don't want them to. No. Keep mining your dog do coins. Keep mining those things. Keep
No,
making.
come on, you missed a complete opportunity. No, keep mining Radiant to the Mining King.
Yeah,
pool.
keep mining. Yeah, you want to get on that Radiant pool that Mining King runs.
I'm still on it.
Uh, let's see here. Ivan, is it Yoon? I might. Sorry, I'm bad with names. Asks, how do I get my machine verified? You just leave it on there, man, and just pray to the vast gods. It is up to the developers to verify you. There's lots of determining factors like the spec of your system, how the reliability, what you have it priced at. There's tons of things that go into getting verified. But is there a set like time? Like, okay, it took my 3060 about a month before it got verified. Now there's other people who have done it and they've gotten verified in a week. Well, it really depends on it also depends on pricing and demand and where your machine fits in at, right? So, and the specs of your machine, there's tons of things that they look at when they're looking at verification. But from what I hear, more higher end machines tend to get verified faster than other machines that aren't high dollar machines.
Did you notice that a 4070 finally got verified?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Let's check it out here.
Actually, it may even be it's two of them actually. They're both rented,
Boom.
so you're gonna have to do unavailable. Click
Okay.
unavailable.
Unavailable.
Oh, I guess
There's
only
one
there was
unavailable.
one in
He is
Illinois that was verified. That's
uh
weird. Click unverified and just see if somehow it got de-verified. I mean,
yes,
there's mine that's not, but oh, it did
de-verified.
get de-verified. Interesting. Oh, there's two of them, both in
No,
Illinois.
now you know what probably happened right there is he probably took one out, right? And it didn't get picked up in the system that he was only running one, and somebody probably rented the machine and there's only one in there,
But
right?
look, he's got two of them there. There was one that's showing one. Why do I get the idea that these are both the same machine and he took one and forgot to unlist it and then listed the other one?
Right. So this one here, yeah, I don't know if this is considered being nefarious, but he's trying to play the system and now look, now he's see. Now this one is also de-verified now, see?
Yeah.
They're, before this was verified, now they're both de-verified now because of the status. They're making a change to the system. This one's probably going to go offline.
It's pretty interesting.
Here, Second Tail says, "Yeah, I'm keeping it simple now. Just one SSD and NVMe, XT4 for the Ubuntu install, and leaving the rest for empty space." Yep, exactly. More info on Nick Team would be great. Nick Team, what? On like what type of NIC that people use? I'm not sure.
That's
So,
interesting.
is
That guy
there
got
any
re-rented.
3070 Ti's on Vast? Because
No,
I looked everywhere and haven't seen one.
haven't
N-
seen it either.
Not that I know of. I wouldn't recommend doing 3070 Ti's. They only have 8 gigs of VRAM. I honestly like all of my GPUs I'm doing are all double digit.
I'll tell you what, my 3070, now admittedly it's on mining, but it's done well. It's the one that cost me the least amount to put online. So
What are you charging for it?
hang on.
Or
It's
what is it?
showing eight and a
What
half
what
cents, but
what's
the
it
real
making a
key
day?
is
What's it making
it
a
is
day?
making about $1.70 a day. And it's only taking about 100, probably about 150 watts total.
See, I'm telling you guys, like, uh, as they say in the Mandalorian, this is the way. But don't follow me. You don't want to do it. It's awful. Don't do it. Just keep mining to my radiant pool.
Right, there you go.
Does the speed of my internet and SSD space are they important? Yes. Like I said earlier, they don't like mechanical drives, so I switched off of that for one machine. I think they tend to like NVMe's the best, obviously because they're extremely fast. Um, I usually stick around the terabyte. That seems to be you could do if you do one rig with a terabyte, you can have quite a bit of storage left for Vast, which is good enough for them to do, like large language models and stuff like that. And then as far as internet goes, you don't have to have symmetrical fiber. I'm sure it looks better like on paper, but I mean Max doesn't have symmetrical fiber and he gets rented. Most of your traffic will be on the download. Like my one rig has 522 gigabytes already. Hasn't even been up a month yet, so it's almost at half a terabyte of traffic communicated already. And then Jeff Wade says, have two different 1 by 3080 Ti rigs that have been doing good. Does it make sense to focus next build on doing dual GPU, which means spending more on a motherboard that will support two GPUs at 4.0 at times 16? I mean, know this though, when you go to a dual rig, it's going to take longer to be picked up if you enforce that both GPUs have to be rented. Because it's going to cost them more money to rent your rig. So this could mean that you'll spend more time waiting to be picked up. That's what I've noticed with my dual Epic. I've waited longer to get picked up for certain times. Setting up dual network, got some Epic boards cheap but light on knowledge. Um, so dual network ports would be good for um if you're trying to trunk. So one would be for a redundant internet line would be number one. Would be like two routes for your traffic to go in and out, right? Like this port here would be tied to this WAN port, and you would have another WAN port. Another instance you could do with having dual NICs is if you were trying to, let's say you're using Proxmox, right? And let's say your Proxmox instance is on a management VLAN. We'll say management VLAN 99, right? And it's untagged and traffics over into the Proxmox. You could use the second NIC to untag the traffic and make that for your VMs, right? And have those on another subnet that communicate out a different way. Now you can trunk into Proxmox, but it's somewhat difficult. I've learned that over this last week, trunking into Proxmox and stuff like that off of one NIC. But usually dual NICs are for just having redundant internet for the system in the event that it would go down. Because think about this, Epics they're not meant for me and you. That's not who they're designed for, right? They're designed to go in a data center, and it's designed to have all redundancies, which means like if it has a WAN from router 1 and then you have router 2 over here, they're going to have two lines come in, one from each router in the event that one ever went down, right? That way it always has a path to get out to the outside world or back to the network or whatever. Not sure. That was kind of like that was a long max answer right there. Sorry about that.
Hey, long max answers are good.
All right. 5 more minutes and then we'll call it here. And then I'm going to go, actually, I got to go clean my house right now. I clean my office first off. I got this computer parts.
Food. I'm hungry.
Huh?
I got to go eat some food. I'm hungry.
Oh, but you don't have a servant there? You don't have Jeeves working for you? Come on.
Nope. Do not. Sadly. Not yet.
Well, I guess I'll do some content on the Vast analytics and stuff like that, I guess. Hit me up for my cheat sheet. Price is 100 flux per copy. You have anything you want to add, Max, about the Vast AI?
No, not at all. I'm really hoping to get stuff re-rented because I upped my prices just slightly and might be holding me back at this point. Your 4070 price is way lower than mine.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
You're
I think I had
lowest
mine at 8 cents. I think I put it at 8 cents because it
17
wasn't getting
cents.
picked up. Yeah. Now, look. The reason I did that though is because I know the CPU is dog crap. It only has 4 threads. Do you see that on there? It has 4 threads.
Yeah, I do. I see that.
It's the CPU it came with. I didn't even change up the paste or anything. I'm like, F it. Let it ride. Got crusty old, way old thermal paste on there. I got a bunch of CPUs here though. I can change that. I'll change out here. That one's just on a test right now. Well, I appreciate you hanging out with me, Mr. General, sir.
Oh, no problem. Always a good time.
Well, I think we're gonna take off. I got some stuff to do. Max needs to eat some food. Needs to get fueled up here. Well, I appreciate everybody hanging out with us. Maybe I'll stream tomorrow. You know what I mean? Kind of make up for not doing content this week. So thanks everybody for hanging out. We'll catch you later.